is Bethany, and today I'm going to show you how weird and incomplete it can look to do a full face of makeup but neglect your brows. Especially if your brows are like mine, where you know they're supposed to be sisters, not twins, but mine are like third cousin twice removed that don't speak to each other anymore. So it's very important not to neglect them if you're gonna do full face makeup. Now there are some instances where you don't have to do your brows, but generally most makeup artists will agree brows are so important. So I'm going to proceed to showing you guys what products I use. These are just the main ones I've been using most recently and probably I'm going to stick to. But for now I'll show you what I use and give you tips and just talk about it. So for most of the last year I've been using this NYX automatic eyebrow pencil, and I believe it's in the shade light brown, which is strange because it's a very gingery color. What's kind of nice about it is it has a flattened side and a fat side. However, the flat side still isn't that refined. So when I saw that NYX started creating this micro brow pencil that's supposed to be a dupe for the Anastasia one, I was like, yes, I've got to try it. This one is in the shade Auburn, so let me give you a peek at it. So I do not own the Anastasia one, but I compared them both in stores, and this is what it looks like. It has an uber refined tip for really getting in there and making really tiny, precise little hair strokes. So I really like it. And then it also includes this little spoolie at the end. All in all, it's very similar to the Anastasia one. And if you're already buying that, I would definitely check this out because it's way cheaper. It's around $7. And like I said, I don't own the Anastasia, but I swatched them and compared them in stores. And I would say this one is better as a redhead eyebrow color, at least personally for me, because the Anastasia one seemed a lot more deep browner, auburner, and a little bit too rich for a lot of redheads. So this is definitely an eyebrow pencil I recommend checking out. Okay, now I'm showing you guys my eyebrows up close. And here is what I was talking about. Like, I haven't been applying lash serum to them like I did last year and got this one way fuller. I need to try that again. But basically, I have two completely different eyebrows. They don't look like they're related to each other at all. This one is like my evil, high fashion arch eyebrow. This one's my depressed, less dramatically curved eyebrow. So I have to really balance that out with them. So I'm gonna proceed and show you guys how I do. So since the front of this eyebrow grows more rapidly than this one, sometimes I have to balance that out by trimming. So I take the end of an eyebrow brush with a spoolie and I'll just bring it forward like this where the long hairs are sticking up a lot. And I'll take one of these tiny little manicure brushes and I'll trim the front of my eyebrows. But this is what I do. I just push it up, and if anything that's like really ruly or out of place, I just trim it like that. Alright, so now I'm going to go on to my NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the pencil side that's really refined. And I always start with the most product at the end of my brows so I can work up to softening the front of my brows. So what I'm going to do, because this is my more harsh brow, I'm going to just make little feather light strokes until I can get that angle to curve a little bit more softly. I'm also going to focus quite a bit of product at the tail of the brow, but this is where I have to be more careful so I don't get too thick or chunky of a tail. Just kind of taper it out. So I've got like this like chunk that's missing out of my brow half the time. It really frustrates me. So that's why I have to kind of bring down the shape here a little bit too. And then to make this brow more curved, I kind of work at the front and balance that out, curving it to the end of the brow, if that makes sense. And then because I've got quite a bit of product distributed through there, I'm going to distribute it a little bit more even using the spoolie side of this. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing to the other brow, but instead of increase its curviness, I'm going to increase its archedness so that it balances out a little better with the other brow. I think a lot of people should just follow the general shape of their brow and then just tweak it a little bit to better suit what fits their face structure. For instance, if you have a really angled face structure, you don't want really angled brows. And my face structure can be rather angled, or it can look rather round from some, viewpoints. If your face structure is more round, then you can get away with a more angled brow because you don't have the two things competing with each other. And it will make your face look more angled if you are a round-faced person. Next, what I'm going to use is something I've been using for years since I did my $20 makeup challenge and discovered this eyeshadow. This is the shade Good Match by Jordana. You can find this at Walgreens. And this is what I use, both of these kind of mixed together to fill in the front of my brows. And I'm just going to be taking this angled brush by Bodyography, and I'm going to be picking up a bit of both of those colors. Just because I don't want it quite that dark, I just want kind of an in-between. So now I'm just going to fill in the front of my brows. And because I've chosen a lighter color, it's going to look structured but not too overpowering. It's really coming together. Also, running this powder over where you've done the pencil can help secure it a little bit better and just kind of tie in the shade, so I'm going to do that a little bit as well. Generally try to go for powder if you want a really soft, you know, subtle brow. Not something too harsh. But that's why I mix the two together, because I want a nice balance of, you know, a little power in my brow, but not too much. So I'm almost finished with the brows. This is one last step I don't always take, but this helps secure my front longer hairs of my brows. This is the Maybelline Brow Power, and this is good for someone who's already got a very good brow structure to both of their brows that's really balanced. They can use that on the go, and they don't really need to fill in if they want like a more, you know, low maintenance look. So if you have better brows than me, you can probably get away with some looks just wearing this. But for now, I'm going to sweep this through the front of my brows. And this is what it looks like. It's got a little round spoolie. I wish it didn't really have that so much. I wish it just had an even smaller little tiny spoolie. But I'm just going to run this through the front because it just kind of reaffirms having all my hair look like the same ginger color. Okay, so that is my finished redhead eyebrow tutorial. I know I hadn't done one of these in ages, at least not even on this channel, but for the most part I was using the same products for a long time. But I want to do videos where I show you collections of things I use, like the Payless foundations and all the redhead eyebrow products I use, stuff like that. So I will eventually get to those as well too, so I can show you everything I've used. But this is generally my full effort, full on eyebrow. If I'm going to something important, this is the full eyebrow I'll do. Now, I of course do a lower maintenance eyebrow sometimes with just the powder, or I do the powder and just run, you know, the spoolie through it, or just little alternizations of those things. But this is when I do my full eyebrow using all the products. So hopefully you guys got a few tips from this and learned a few things that you could implement in your own eyebrow routine. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you have any questions at all about this routine, or if there's something that you didn't quite understand, feel free to leave that below so I can answer you. And as always, thank you guys for watching my videos, and I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye. So what I'm going to do, because this... Get out of the way, hair. Go away. I feel so cute today. Oh, I didn't say eyebrow and fleek. I'm not on trend. I'm not cool. I'm not cool like the cool kids. Oh well. At least they look related though now. At least they look like that, so that's good. That's good. Yeah.